Konnichiwa, minasan. Welcome back for another round of Warhammer Research. Viewer recommended to take a break from all the seriousness that has happened for the past few weeks, especially regarding Matt Ward. We have been on a very serious streak. So, VicReal65 recommended 40K for Noobs, new channel. A new channel to check out. Best team kills for complete beginner's guide. Commando Orcs for Warhammer 40K 2023 KT Octarius. This is supposed to be the board game. So as I had noted, I've been looking for a small team that I'm willing to build on the cheap. Just to do, like whenever I go to a tabletop gaming convention like PAX Unplugged, if I want that a quickie battle, Warhammer as well as BattleTech, I want to just bring a small team for a pickup game. Say nothing big, no 2-hour epic campaign or anything, just like fast, say just like a quick 30-45 minute campaign and that'll be it, learn, and just have fun with my orcs. Have fun with my team of orcs. So I'll have the link down in the description below for 40K for noobs. Be sure to check their channel out. Get your notes together for my post research thoughts. This is call to action. Comment, like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification button, and let us begin the research.
Orcs are funny, orcs are fun, and orcs are strong, and because of those things, orcs tend to be one of the most popular form of playing Kill Team in the entire game. So if you're someone that's brand new to Kill Team and want to learn how to play orcs, by the end of this video, you're going to know everything about the team and exactly how to play them so you can feel comfortable going out and spending the $50-$60 to buy and build and paint this Kill Team. Alright, so when we look at the
that's a lot.
team, we're going to have one Commando Knob, which is going to be your leader. Then we're going to get 9 other operatives. We're going to choose to build 2 Commando Boys. We're going to choose a Slasher, a Breacher, a Sniper, a Daka Boy, a Comms Boy, a Burner Boy, and a Rocket Boy. We are going to not use the Bomb Squig and the Grot. Let's just focus on getting really good with these models, and then at some point in the future, you guys can use those models once you become more acclimated with the game. Something we have to keep in mind over here is this ability for all of our orcs called Throat Slitters. That says this operative can perform a charge action while it has a conceal order.
Okay.
So in other words, generally that would be against the rules. You would need to be in an engage order, which means your opponents can shoot at you while you're behind cover. Throat Slitter says that if your model is behind cover, you're essentially allowed to still charge and act as if you're in an engage order, which gives your team a pretty unfair advantage in fighting sometimes.
I like that. I like that already. That's a very orc thing to do because orcs believe that they can do it. Let's remember, in terms of their psychic powers, they believe they could do anything. That is so fitting.
Now, because orcs generally do a ton of melee damage, we need to make sure that we do everything we can to move our orcs as quickly up the field as possible. Under the equipment tab,
okay, so this is a melee group.
Every one of our orcs is equipped with a climbing rope. Climbing rope essentially just allows us to pass through terrain at a much faster rate than what our opponents are able to do, which allows us to get slingshot across the board. The first model we're going to be going over is the Commando Boy. The Commando Boy has a slugger and he has a chopper. Notice that the choppers are 4 attacks doing 4 and 5 damage apiece. Guys, that is no joke. Also keep in mind that these models can use an ability called Justice Scratch, like what you see above over there, which basically says if your opponent hits you, you can spend 1 CP to ignore the damage that hit them. I am telling you guys, remember that you have this move over here. This is one of the most powerful things about this entire Kill Team and just orcs in general. And I'm telling you, when you properly use this in the right time, it is absolutely devastating to the morale of your opponent for you to just be like, oh well, that crit was just a scratch, it didn't do anything. These commando boys, we're going to be running up the board to contest objectives in a conceal order. They should always be behind cover and conceal so that your opponents can't shoot at them, but you still have the ability to charge your opponents when you get in range. Next model we have here is the Slasher Boy. Slasher Boy is basically the same exact way you're going to play the other commando boys. The Slasher Boy is the same exact thing. The only thing that's different is that he can do mortal wounds at times depending on the situation, and then also he can re-roll hits when he attacks. The Breacher Boy is the next model that we're just going to be running up the board, preferably to terrain so that you can punch holes through terrain. Although terrain's not that much of a problem because our models are going to have the rope equipped, but just keep in mind that the Breacher Boy can punch holes through terrain so that your units can move through much easier. Now, the Sniper Boy is definitely not a model that you guys want to be running up the board. Keep in mind that the Sniper Boy has a sniper, okay? Which is kind of intense because this shoots 6 times. You're going to roll 6 dice and it lands on 3s. So you're going to have a pretty good chance to land some hits, and any crits, okay, do mortal wounds, which is Keep in mind that you're generally going to want to place this model up top, so that climbing rope that he has, you're going to be able to get to a place where you have vantage pretty well and place him on a spot where you can see the majority of the board. If that means you take him and place him extremely far away from the rest of your team, just on some random spot, put him there. Make sure he can see the entire board because he has an ability called the best spot. Yeah, you got to find the right spot. Perform a free shoot action with this operative using its scoped big shooter, even if it has a conceal order. So in other words, nothing can shoot at it and it can shoot at everything. The next
Okay, so from what I'm hearing so far, if I'm understanding the strategy, basically it's all about one big Zerg rush. But you have yourself some long range fighters like the Sniper Boy to help provide cover as you go along the way. Hence why you have the rope, so that way you could get your sniper up to the highest possible spot. That is the perfect spot where nothing can hit him and you can hit everybody. You snipe away while your Zerg rush is going on, and you're just wailing at everybody at every turn. Okay, so if that's the gist of it, then I pretty much got the idea of how this how these commando orcs work. This set works. So it's all about just bum rush while providing suppression cover, while providing cover fire. All right, that sounds simple enough. Although I don't know how much it costs now. I mean, he said it was $50 to $60. I don't know if this is even still available. Quite honestly, I definitely want to at least take a look at it.
The model we have here is the Commando Daka Boy. Keep in mind that if you're within 6 inches of a model that you're shooting at, you get to re-roll any or all of your attacks.
Wow!
Which incentivizes that you move this model up the board. However, I would suggest that you keep this model back and put him on vantage so he can shoot early in the game. And then later on in the game, you can move him forward to contest objectives and take advantage of that ability. Keep in mind that there's a video on this channel where we go over movement. So I would definitely suggest that you watch the movement video because it's going to make everything you do when you play Kill Team much more efficient. This model also has an ability called Daka Dash, which allows you to perform a free shoot and free dash action. So you get to move and then you call a Daka Dash and then you can dash and shoot, which is incredibly powerful. This model right here is incredibly fun.
Anytime that you can attack and shoot at the same time is actually pretty good.
The Rocket Boy. The Rocket Boy has a rocket launcher. This has the AP1 special rule, so it removes one of your opponent's defense dice, and it does 5 damage, which is nothing to scoff at, guys. That's a lot of damage. You want to make sure that your Rocket Boy is shooting at your opponent's models that have really good saves, and that you just really need to delete off of the board. That's the purpose of the Rocket Boy. Keep him behind cover so that he stays safe, preferably up on top somewhere where he has vantage and can see the entire board. Next model we have here is the Burner Boy. The Burner Boy is the flamer, Personally, I think that when we have flamers, I like to use flamers defensively. I would hold flamers back so that I can just light anything up that gets too close to my side of the field, depending on the situation inside the game. However, you can totally just run him up with the rest of the orcs that you have. I just think depending on the situation, the burn is usually like a really good late game play where burners hit on twos, so it kind of guarantees damage, and towards the end of the game your opponent's models tend to have wounds on them, and when they have a low amount of wounds and you can guarantee 2 damage here and 2 damage there from a burner, you can hit multiple models at one time. I've had big turns where I could take out just like 2 or 3 models in one activation with the burner because they had a low amount of health. So I would hold the burner back and not be so aggressive with him, because he could be a game-winning. You can either just choose to run him with the board, he can be like anything else, or he can win you the game at the end of the game. It's up to you. Now, the last 2 models we're going to go over in tandem, because we have the Commando Comms Boy, and then we also have the Commando Knob. The Knob actually being our leader. Keep in mind that our Commando Knob has 13 wounds, guys. This is a big dude, okay?
Oh, okay.
2 activation points. And the reason why I brought up the Comms Boy or the Commsman before is because he has an ability called Listen In, which allows him to add 1 to the APL of any model that you have, which essentially for your Commando Knob makes his APL 2, which is you essentially get to
3.
dash and then charge across the entire board and then do melee damage. And when you do melee damage with a big chopper where you're landing 5 and 6 damage a piece, hitting on 2s, guys, you are more than likely just gonna eviscerate. Like, I've had games where I would run, because I did that, I could run the knob from one side of the battlefield to almost the other side of the battlefield completely and just run across. I'm just imagining in my mind like a giant orc running across the battlefield and just slamming his axe into something and removing it from the game. And the look on your opponent's face when that happens is devastating. So I would always keep the Commando Knob and the Commsman kind of together like a team, so that in the case where you need to do that, or you can do that, and it rocks people. The Comms Boy is doing damage on 1s. He has this weird weapon. Like, you really don't want to be using this model for anything other than that. If you really wanted to, you can go ahead and equip him with a chopper for 2 equipment points, which is going to mean you're going to lose off some climbing ropes over here.
I wouldn't risk that.
If you equip that Comms Boy with a chopper, suddenly he becomes like a melee threat, which is what I think is... It could make him just a little bit stronger, But generally, you don't want to be fighting with him. You just want him to help everyone else.
So he's basically a support character, and you don't want to lose your support character. I get you. I get it. Especially if you want to use your most strongest orc to get that early kills with the knob, because that's pretty brutal. Hearing that, where he just runs up and just smashes, and yeah, you're really screwed. That's pretty crazy. So let's see, strategic ploys. Wog, yes.
As for the strategic ploys, the ones that you want to keep in mind are Daka, which is usually something that you're going to call in the beginning of the game. As long as you can line up good shots, I would spend CP on that. Otherwise, I would just be free from spending my CP on that. And then later on in the game, when your orcs have moved up and you're about to start dealing melee damage, you're going to want to call a Wah. When you call a Wah, 2 normal hits, you then get to take one of your normal hits and then turn it into a critical hit, which in the right situation can just blast your opponent's models. Alright guys, and that's going to be it for the Commando Ork Kill Team. If you have any questions, you can leave those questions in the comment section below.
$50 to $60 for 12 characters. I need to know if that's really a good deal. I don't even know if this thing is still around, but that's something I could consider, because this seems like such a simple play. It was very straightforward how it was explained. You just charge in, you use your range fighters like your sniper and your flamer on the back end. Daka as well. Your Daka boy, and it's got a good combination of Zerg Rush orcs and range fighting orcs, and I like that. This seems like this was very simple. The way he explained it, I felt like I was able to follow that. And let me know if I got that right, if I actually understood the strategy right. You send in your melee groups, charge right on in. You use your range fighters, like the sniper and like your sniper boy and your flamer boy, to cover, provide cover fire. And then once your orcs are on the other side, because that's what their ability is supposed to be, they're supposed to get you right on the other side along with the knob. Then you just go all out and beat the living crap out of everybody. I like the sound of that. This is actually a pretty cool strategy. It is very orcish. I love that. But is $50 to $60 worth it? Well, first of all, is it $50 to $60 American, or is that in foreign currency? That's something that I need to know, because I got to make sure the budget is good. You know what I'm saying? Because this might be something I might be willing to jump into. Also another good question is, can I add one of those big mech? Because I'm willing to buy a big mech if the price is right. I'm willing to buy a big mech orc, one of the orcs in the mechs, to add to that, if that's possible, something like that. I'm not really up for like the flying or the vehicles. I want the mech orc, the one who's in a mech and just mech everybody. I'm willing to add that if that's compatible with this kill team set. I'd be happy to also try and get my hands on that. You know what I'm saying? So I can have this team of 12 with a mech. Let me know if that's actually a pretty good team. If that's a good team formation. You know what I'm saying? To carry into a quick thing. The painting part is the one thing I'm concerned of. So they clearly have to be painted in, and I'm very worried because I've never, like I said, this is like a hobbyist type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I would like to get in on it, but I'm not looking to like buy 1,000 million models. I think that this particular kit, this kit in particular might be sufficient enough for me, because that $50, $60, that's a big investment. And then if I decide to get if I can add the like a mech orc in a mech, I don't know if there is any. That'll probably go what 80 to 100. That's a very, very big investment, and it's a very, very big investment, and I need to know if that's really worth the trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm not like looking to get 100. Like Magic the Gathering, I'm so invested in it. I made 23 commander decks. Multiply that by 100. That's how many cards I got. That's how many cards I got. That's how much I spent on it. I don't know if I really want to, go crazy committed like that. The only model game that I committed myself to was HeroClix, DC and Marvel HeroClix. So Warhammer is like a legit commitment, and saying like in terms of hobbying. But I don't want to, commit to models where, I get like 1 million models. I feel like I don't need 1 million models. You know what I mean? I'm not, like I wanna play the game. I'm not. I don't know if I'm committed to the hobby in and of itself. I just want to get the book, some Necron books, some Orc books. Saying Orc stories, Orc and Necron stories. And just have one team. So if I ever pop up at a tabletop convention, Gen Con, Origins, you know, or go down to Philly to PAX Unplugged. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do like a 30-45 minutes game. So let me know if this is 30 to 45 minutes, and if they're and if there's like an orc mech, you know, point me to a video or something that has the orc mech, so I can see the orc mech, and if it's compatible with this particular kill team. I think this is something that I'm hoping that this is beginner level. If this is beginner level, then you know, I'll be willing to go for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I just want to play beginner battles. You know, I'm not looking to play the advanced stuff, like the really hyper advanced stuff, that 2 to 3 hour epic stuff. I just want the 30 to 45 minute go. You know what I mean? Just Zerg rush. That's why you know, the way this was explained, and from what I understood, this seems right up my alley. Easy 30 to 45 minute Zerg rush. Pound everybody down, snipe people, flame them up, and then if an orc mech is compatible, I would like to add an orc mech to this team, and just for the heck of it, you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. This was a good breather, because the whole thing with Matt Ward and everything, really, and diving into what happened with behind the scenes stuff, it was very heavy. It was very heavy stuff. It was very heavy research. You know, especially as a creator, you know, and other aspects to it. So this felt very good. So yeah. And please explain to me about the painting part. Like, how advanced is that too? I'm very worried about it. Like, do I have to paint? Can I play them gray? Is there any already painted stuff, or I really have to go for it? Because I don't have a problem doing painting. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with the painting part. It's just that it feels too heavy. For such a simple casual guy like myself, who just wants a handful of orc books, a couple of Necrons. Well, at least that one Necron book. You all know what I want, and just you know, do the whole a simple team. This looks like a simple team. And I'm all for it, you know. All right. Make sure to check out the channel, 40K for Noobs. Links in the description. Make sure to you know, follow them and such. This was a very good video. Very good video for a noob like me. So head on over to Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com and grab yourself a copy of The Impossible Man, strange fantasy novel written by me. You'll find links to the book down in the description below, along with links to other merch such as pins, stickers, t-shirts, music. Enjoy the products. Thank you for your patronage. And if you happen to have a copy of The Impossible Man and did a lore video on it, thank you very much. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. And if you're interested, you can join me on my live multi-stream on Twitch and Kick every Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I do lore research, Japanese cultural studies, gaming, and more. I look forward to hanging out with you. So until the next round of Warhammer research, thank you all for joining me. I wish you all a good night, and buenas noches, and oyasumi nasai.